out this shuffle tutorial sitting down because we are gonna have a little chit chat. This shuffle tutorial is gonna be about stamina and how to be able to shuffle longer, because shuffling is no joke, okay? It's freaking exhausting. Even just shuffling for 30 seconds, a minute. At the end of that, I'm usually pretty gassed. You're not alone, don't worry, it's exhausting. I'm gonna be sharing with you guys some tips on how to build your endurance, but also some tricks that you can implement just to be able to shuffle longer. Let's get started with tip number 1. So when you're shuffling and you're dancing and you kind of get to the point where you're tired and you maybe want to stop, keep going. Keep going that extra 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, as much as you can until you literally cannot take another step. Even if your shuffling form kind of starts to break down, I still want you to keep going for that time, because as you continue to do this, you'll continually be able to shuffle longer and build up that endurance. It's the same as like in the gym, right? Those last 2 reps should feel really hard. Your form might kind of break down, but you still go for it because that's where you see the most growth and the most progress. So don't stop when you get tired and push yourself. So that's basically how I go about building my endurance, but there are also some tricks that we can use to kind of give ourselves a break in the middle of our shuffling, or allow ourselves to take a breath so that we can shuffle for longer. And I'm gonna be giving you guys examples of all of these from my own videos. So let's get into the second tip, which is using musicality to your advantage. If you're listening to a song, sometimes you'll notice maybe there's like a pause or a hold where you can kind of maybe take a break or a pause or kind of do something other than shuffling, like dance it out, to kind of allow yourself that break in the midst of your shuffling so then you can go back into it hard right after. The example I'm going to use is from my video that I did to Milkshake, the remix by Deborah DeLuca. At the beginning of the video, I start out doing the running man, we've got some kicks, and then you see me pause. I pause because of the musicality, because it goes, I could teach you, and then it has that like half-second pause, right? But I have that charge to just give myself that extra half seconds to take a breather, pause, and then I can go right back into it. And then you see, I go back into the running man, I go back into some spins, going hard. Another example is the song, The Girl with the Bat. So I start out the song shuffling, I'm dancing, I'm doing the running man, all these moves, and then the song goes from the drop back into the part where he's singing, one time with the girl in the back with the bat. So I use that transition where it kind of is changing portions of the song to shake my butt, do something a little bit different, take a pause, and then I go back into shuffling. So this is usually easier when you know the song, right? But feel free to kind of just take a pause whenever you want and kind of do something else. It doesn't have to be shuffle, 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 shuffle. You know, it doesn't need to always be high energy. You can use different moves and use holds to not only give yourself a break, but also break up your shuffling and make it look more visually appealing. Plus, like, who doesn't love a good ass shake? Know what I mean? Moving on to the third tip before we get into some moves. The moves that I want to talk about kind of go along with this third tip, which is what I'm going to call easy moves. You can start to implement some easy moves in your shuffling to give yourself that break, right? So we've talked about the running man. The running man's hard. It's exhausting. Do that for a minute and let me know how that goes. But you'll find as you progress in your shuffling, there are some moves that maybe are easier to you personally or just easier in general and maybe don't require so much energy. But one of these moves is what I call the pendulum. It's kind of like a variation of the Polly Pocket, but I use it in the San Fran disco video that I made. So the video starts out, there's a lot of shuffling, and then I go into this move called the pendulum where I kind of swing my leg back and forth. And I found that that move for me is a nice kind of chill move to kind of take a second, catch my breath, and then go back into the shuffling. It's just one of my go-to moves that I like to incorporate when I need to take a second. And there's a ton of moves like these. And that's what I want to talk about now, are these easy moves that you can implement to break up your shuffling, give yourself a breather, and build that stamina. So let's get started, and let's get started with the pendulum. If the Polly Pocket looks like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the pendulum looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breaking down that move, if I'm in the perch position of my running man, I'm going to drop this leg back behind like I'm doing the Polly Pocket. And I'm going to come up, and then instead of switching legs like I would in the Polly Pocket, I'm going to drop this leg out and back. Okay? That's it. And then I just repeat back. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So from the back, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So when we're doing it slow, I'm kind of more stepping, but when I do it fast and when I'm doing it to a tempo, it's more like a hop both feet out. Boom. Hop, 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 hop. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second move is going to be a back and forth little steppy thingy. So all it is like 1, 2, 1, 2. So all we're doing is from the perch position, I'm going to step onto this foot and pick my other one up. Then I back and step back. So it's just like 1 and 2 and. From the back, 1 and 2 and. So I'm really just stepping this foot forward and then back. I'm just kind of alternating. Ba, 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 ba. Next move is just going to be your good old back step. So all that is you're doing 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back. So just that simple step alone can kind of give you an extra half second and also break up your running man, right? You know, instead of going 1, 2, 3 all the time, you can kind of use that back step to 1, make your running man a little bit easier, and also break it up visually. Ba, 1, 2, 3, ba. You could even do it a couple times, right? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then go into something else, right? So really simple, doesn't always have to be running man, running man, running man, running man. If you need that move broken down a little bit, all I'm doing is instead of dropping this foot forward, I do it back. And then come back to that same perch position. 1 and, 1 and, 1 and. So another category of moves that you can use are glides. So glides are usually at least a full count movement, right? So if we're doing something like 1, 2, that's a full count that you can use to kind of slow down your shuffling, and so that it's not 1 and 2 and 3 and, right? It gives you that extra time and it kind of slows down your movement a little bit. And glides don't have to be just one count either. You can hold them for longer and make them go for longer counts, right? You could do something like 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can kind of do that depending on the musicality, depending on the song, or really whatever. So just some ideas to kind of get you start thinking about it. And then another move I've been liking to do to kind of break up my shuffling and also give myself a second is this little cross spin. So what I'll do is I'll cross my legs like this, and then I'll spin out of it and then go into the next thing, right? If I'm doing something like this, I could go ba 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 ba. So that little combo, just breaking that down, would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So I cross my legs and then I pause for half a count, and then I spin out of it by uncrossing my legs, and then I bring this leg forward to go into the running man. So again, that's cross over my right leg, spin, 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 land left leg forward running man. So that full combo, we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6. So let's try that combo together just to kind of feel it out. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kind of just finished it with a 7, 8, but you get it. So then another move that you can implement is, I think, kind of like the Miami step, but not, I don't know. I see a lot of Miami steppers do it, but it looks like this. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All I'm really doing there is kind of stepping out my heel, hopping back, and then stepping out my other heel. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And you can also just kind of do it twice. You could go like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So I tap the same heel forward twice. So from the back, that looks like this. I have my right leg up, and then I hop my heel out. And then I hop onto this foot, boom. And then I hop my heel out, boom. And then repeat, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. You can kind of think about it as like the shape of Running Man, but like to the side. So if the shape of Running Man is like this, 1, 2, 3, 4. This move is kind of like doing that, but to the side and kind of out. So it's like 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And you can kind of lean into it and give it a little bit of sauce, give it a little bit of sass, spice, you know, something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those are just some examples, guys. Like there are so many different moves that if I tried to think of them all, we'd be here forever. Hopefully that kind of gets you started thinking about it, gets you some ideas to get started, and you'll be able to kind of pinpoint and pick out moves that other people do that maybe are like, oh, that looks pretty chill, I should incorporate that in my own shuffling. Or you can experiment, come up with your own. Like, shuffling is a freestyle dance, and what makes shuffling so great is that everybody's style is a little bit different. Nobody looks exactly the same when they're shuffling, and that's what I love about it, you know? So don't feel like you need to look exactly like somebody else. You can kind of get inspiration from different people, from a whole different style of dance, and really kind of find a style that you love and that really fits you. You know, there's no one way to do this dance, so have fun with it. And if you guys want to continue your shuffle journey and continue growing and thriving, you can sign up for shuffle coaching with me. The link's down below. And if you're not interested in shuffle coaching, I also have a YouTube membership option where you get exclusive shuffle tutorials. We do virtual shuffle meetups. You get to be a part of my cool Facebook group that I just started. Basically, the Facebook group I made because I wanted a way for all of you guys to be able to connect with each other. One of the most profound impacts that shuffling has had on my life is because of the community of people. I'm forever grateful for that. So I just kind of wanted to create a space where you guys could all connect with each other and get to know each other. So yeah, and me too, like I'm there. I love you guys. Hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And also comment down below what you want to see next, what you're struggling with shuffling, because I just want to make tutorials that are helpful for you guys.
Dancing